Good afternoon. This is HorseRacingNation.com handicapper Jarrod Horak. This is going to be our final Kentucky Derby 2015 update this year. And we're going to look back at the two big races last weekend, the Remsen and the Jockey Club, Kentucky Jockey Club from Churchill. And then we'll talk about a couple other impressive performances in non-stakes races. First up, the Remsen. It was really a speed track at Aqueduct. If you got to the inside and you got to the front, you were looking pretty good. And Leave the Light On did just that for trainer Chad Brown. He was coming off of a wire-to-wire win in the slop. And then he got loose in the Remsen, and it was basically over. He showed that good speed. He went right out there, and he kept on going. And he was able to hold off Frosted for Kieran McLaughlin. He ended up the favorite. He had post position 13. He was 3 and 4 wide throughout, and he finished 8 lengths clear of the show finisher, Keen Ice. So that was a nice effort from Frosted. And I think of the horses that finished in the top 3, I say Frosted was the most impressive. Godolphin, Kieran McLaughlin, good breeding on this one. Son of Tappet. I've always liked him. He's been on my Derby list since September, since the beginning, and he ran a quality race. I actually played him in the first pool of the Kentucky Derby Future Wager. I played him in an exacta box with the field. I was impressed with his effort, and hopefully he'll continue to move forward. He was racing wide, lost ground. I think under different circumstances, if you switch post positions, I think he was probably the winner of the race. But take nothing away from the winner. He did what he had to do. He got out there. He went all the way. But both of his wins of Leave the Light On, he went wire to wire and he got loose. So the jury's still out on him for trainer Chad Brown. He got a 90 Beyer speed figure. He won by a half length. His sire, Horse Greeley, on the dam side, Mineshaft. I think that's where he's going to get all of his stamina if he continues to run on at longer distances. That Mineshaft breeding on the bottom of the pedigree, that's where he's going to get it. We mentioned Frosted ran an excellent race to finish second, and then Keen Ice was 8 lengths back in third for trainer Dale Romans, but he has a nice pedigree. Curlin out of an awesome, again, mare. So he's bred to keep on going. He doesn't have any speed. He just sits back, makes a run, and this is one that should continue to improve. But if he goes to Gulfstream for the winter, he's probably going to struggle over that speed favoring track, but certainly one to keep an eye on from off the pace in some of these upcoming stakes races. The Grade 2 Kentucky Jockey Club Stakes at Churchill Downs, run on the same day as the Remsen. El Kabeir went wire to wire there. He's been on our list since the beginning. He was able to get out there under Calvin Burrell, control the pace, and he held on by a head. Imperia, again, Kieran McLaughlin, Godolphin, this one rallied from 7th to finish 2nd. That was his first dirt start. And then Eagle ended up 3rd. A couple other horses on our list. International Star was 4th. And then Lord Nelson, your beaten favorite in the Kentucky Jockey Club. He was a disappointing 5th in there. Thought he'd be closer to the pace. But El Kabeir, I still have questions about how far he really wants to go. I like his ability. He showed that good ability at Saratoga this summer. And then he was 2nd in the Nashua behind Blofeld. So he certainly flattered the form of Blofeld, who's been on our list as well, with a nice win here. But if he goes to Gulfstream this winter, he should do well over that speed track. But I think over the long run, when we start getting into these races, 1 1/8, 1 1/4 for the Derby, I'm not quite sure he wants to go that far, but he's done what he had to do. He got his 10 Derby points for the victory, and he'll move on the Derby Trail next year. Imperia has joined the Derby Trail. They said they started this horse on turf basically just to get the distance experience in him because at that time there weren't any, when they were ready to run him, they didn't want to run him in sprints. They wanted to run him around 2 turns. And he certainly looks like a horse that wants to continue to go on. Medaglia d'Oro is the sire, Donerail Court, the dam sire. As I said, first dirt start, did well. Was unlucky to lose by a head there. But this one's going to go on the Derby Trail for sure. So Frosted and Imperia, Kieran McLaughlin has a couple of quality 2-year-olds there. Eagle ended up rallying from 6th to finish 3rd. Candy Ride, Mineshaft, the pedigree, nice pedigree there. Neil Howard's the trainer. Wouldn't be surprised if this one showed up at the fairgrounds this winter. He's one to look at, obviously, just based on the pedigree, and he did show some ability finishing 3rd in that race. International Star, he was down on the inside, saved the ground, ran a decent race, and just finished an even 4th. He's handled different surfaces. He was my number 1. Going to drop him down on the list a little bit, but he'll remain on the list for sure. He's pretty consistent. He handles dirt, synthetic, turf. I'm not sure what his best surface is yet, but he'll continue to go on the Derby Trail for sure for trainer Mike Maker. Lord Nelson, as we mentioned, finished 5th. He looked great in his 2 sprint wins, but both of his 2 turn starts now he's lost. So there is that question. He has that pedigree for trainer Bob Baffert to run the 2 turns, but right now he's shown his best in sprint races, and I'm sure they won't give up on him around 2 turns yet, but he's going to have to move forward in some of these stakes races. A couple other horses they didn't run in stakes races, but they were impressive. Actually, this one was a small stakes race. Mr. Jordan, he got a 97 Beyer speed figure, running his record to 3 for 3 for trainer Eddie Plesa Jr. at Gulfstream Park West. The Smooth Air Stakes, he went wire to wire there, getting that good speed figure. He's supposed to go next in the Mucho Macho Man Stakes at Gulfstream Park on January 3rd. He's got speed. Gulfstream's a speed track. I would expect that he'll continue to do well, at least in the early part of the season, and he's certainly one to keep your eye on. He ran fast. He's got speed. Dortmund for trainer Bob Baffert, the buzz horse probably of the weekend. He's now 2 for 2. He also got a 97 Beyer speed figure. He won by almost 8 lengths at Churchill Downs from post position 12 as the heavy favorite in an allowance race at 1 mile around 1 turn. So now for trainer Bob Baffert, he's going for the Grade 1 Los Alamitos Futurity on December 20th. If he wins there, he's going to shoot up a lot of people's rankings if he's impressive again, and he runs his record to 3 for 3, winning that big race. But we'll have to see how he does stepping up against Stakes Company. A Firing Line, a sire line of David. 2 career starts, a win and a second. First start at Santa Anita, broke slow. He broke 12th and last. He took action, ended up just missing, finishing a good second. That was a solid effort in his debut. Simon Callahan really doesn't win with first-timers, but then the second career start, he won nicely at Del Mar. He won by a little more than 4 lengths. That was on November 30th, 6.5 furlongs. Mike Smith rode. He's showed the ability to come from off the pace in both starts. This one's probably going to stretch out soon. I think he has some ability, and we'll see if they stretch him out and throw him on the Derby Trail in the near future. If you go over to horseracing.wordpress.com, you can see my written Exceptional 11 blog, where I'm going to put my Exceptional 11 Kentucky Derby contenders. We're going to have a companion written blog to this video, and then I'll probably throw one more at the end of the year, written blog, just my final year rankings. And then we're going to have more videos and more written blogs starting January next year, once the Derby Trail really starts to heat up. If you go to HorseRacingNation.com, you can see the Kentucky Derby 2015 contenders. The top 250 contenders are there. So if you click on the Kentucky Derby 2015 tab, you can see all the contenders. You can vote for the horses that you like. So go over to HorseRacingNation.com for more Kentucky Derby 2015 information. That's it for this video. We'll be back next year chasing that Derby Trail.